Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's enjoying their day today. In today's video, we are making crock-pot Mississippi beef noodles, and it smells divine. If you could smell my house right now, it smells delicious. I put that on about 6 o'clock this morning, and it's been going all day long. I've been in and out all day just enjoying the weather. We had some storms come through last night, but the weather turned out so gorgeous today. So we have been enjoying that. I've got some green beans set out here because I want to make some green beans to go with it. So I'm going to show you that. I'm also going to make just some easy Pillsbury crescent rolls to go with it. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So I'm going to take you back and show you what you're going to need and how we put this together, and then I'll meet you right back here and we will finish this up. Okay guys, for this recipe, this is everything that you're going to need. I absolutely love Mississippi recipes, especially Mississippi chicken. It has the best flavor. But today we're going to be trying this recipe. Now all you're going to need is some beef broth, some brown gravy, butter, a chuck roast or any kind of roast that you can get your hands on, some pepperoncini peppers. I'm almost done with this one, so I'm going to have to open up a brand new bottle, but that's fine. I can use up the rest of this juice in here. Some ranch powder and some egg noodles. Now we're not going to need these until later on in the recipe. We're going to cook these up and then add them later on when the roast is almost done. So I'm going to get you guys set up and we will get this going. I cannot wait to try this. As always, you can find the link to this in the description box below, and it's also going to be pinned in the comments section. So let's get this going. Okay guys, so I thought I was recording. I was not. However, I've gone ahead and put in my my pot roast in here and my brown gravy. So got that in there, and now all we're going to do is add in about a packet's worth of ranch powder. Let me shake this up really quick. Okay, that is good to go. I'm going to add in about a packet's worth of ranch powder. Now I love Mississippi chicken. It's so good. I think it has the best flavor ever. And we're going to be trying some beef today. I'm just going to get a little fork here and try to get some of these pepperoncinis out and just put those on the top. Now if you don't like heat, you can always add in the mild pepperoncinis. That's what I've got here. However, I typically buy the spicy ones, the hot pepper. They did not have any at the store when we went, so I just got the mild. And we're just going to add some of those right in there. Now you can add as much or as little as you want. I love pepperoncini peppers, so I'm going to add, I don't know, a half of a cup. It calls for a third of a cup, but we're going to add just a little bit more. And then we're going to add in some of the juice right in there. It's going to be so good. Okay, now we're going to add in our beef broth right on top. A little much liquid for this recipe, but I'm sure it will be okay because the meat itself is going to add quite a bit of liquid. I'm just going to get a little knife here, a little butter knife. We're going to add, I don't know, just under a half of a stick of butter. Put that right in there. Now all we're going to do is put the lid on. We're going to cook this for about 10 hours on low. Now, when it comes to a cut of meat like this, you want to cook it low and slow so that way it gets nice and tender and it just falls apart and it soaks up all of those wonderful, delicious flavors in there. So, 10 hours on low. You can cook it on high. I'm going to guess about 6 hours, 7 hours. Just play around with it. I typically do roasts or anything that's got a tough cut of meat for a long period of time. So 10 hours low, and then I will see you back when it's time to cook the noodles. We're just going to add those later after we cook them because I don't like adding the noodles into here because I don't think the noodles cook right. So I'm just going to cook them separately and then add them in later. So I will see you back when this gets done. Okay guys, I'm going to show you how I make my green beans. They're so simple, but they're so delicious. First off, I've got a saucepan over medium flame here, about medium low flame. And first off, I'm going to add in my bacon. I'm going to let this cook for just a few minutes, about 2 or 3 minutes, just till it starts rendering some of that fat. And then we're going to add in our onions. We're going to cook that down until the onions are just tender. And then we're going to add in the garlic and green beans, and I'll show you all of the steps. Okay, so my bacon has rendered some of that fat. So we're going to go ahead and add in our onions. We're going to let this cook down just for a few minutes until the onions start to become tender. Then we'll add in our garlic. Okay guys, so I've got all of my ingredients in there. I've got my bacon, my onion, garlic, green beans, a little bit of chicken broth. All of that is in there. Now when it comes to seasoning your green beans, you can season them however you want. However, you know, whatever seasonings you like in your green beans, chunk it in there, it's fine. Today I'm going to go the simple route. I'm just going to throw in some nature's seasoning and a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm going to let these cook for about 45 minutes. If you don't want them cooked down that much, you certainly don't have to. You can cook them as long as you want. That's really up to you. So I'm going to let these cook for about 40 to 45 minutes until the green beans are nice and tender and cooked down. In the meantime, when everything's almost done, about 15 minutes before it's done, I'm going to throw in my crescent rolls into the oven and get those going, and then we will plate this up. Okay guys, so I've checked my roast and it is super tender. So I'm going to go ahead and shred this up. I've got a pot of water coming up to a boil on the stove to cook my egg noodles. So while that happens, I'm just going to shred this up. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to add in some salt in my egg noodles, and then we will combine all of this together, and I think we'll be good to go. Alright, so I just added some salt to my water. Now we're just going to go ahead and add in our noodles. I'm going to add those right on in there. It calls for 24 ounces, but I've only got 12 ounces, so I'm sure that will be plenty. So I'm just going to let these cook until they're tender, and then we'll drain them off and add them to the beef. Okay, so what I did was I just mixed up a little bit of a cornstarch slurry and put it in here because I wanted this to be a little bit more thick, like a gravy consistency, so that way it coats the noodles a little bit better. And my noodles are done, so I'm just going to go ahead and add all of that in here. Try not to make a mess. Okay. And just mix all of this together. Now the noodles are not quite done. They're a little on the al dente side, so I'm just going to stir this up. And I've got this on warm, so I'm going to let this hang out and let the noodles soak up some of that liquid in here. And the green beans are done, so that's ready to go. I'm waiting on the crescent rolls. As soon as they get done, we will plate this up and be ready for dinner. Okay guys, so I've got my plate. Everything is done and ready to go, and it smells absolutely delicious in here. I've got my plate. I've got some of the beef noodles, some green beans, and a crescent roll. Now I already know what the green beans taste like because I make them all the time, and they're absolutely delicious. But I am going to try this Mississippi beef noodles. It smells so good, you guys. I can't wait to try this. We are ready to eat, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a little nibble of this before we eat, because my daughter is so ready to chow down. It's so hot. That roast is so tender. A little kick from those pepperoncinis. And that gravy is so smooth. The noodles are tender. It is delicious. I highly recommend you try this. I will leave the link for this recipe down in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comments section. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And as usual, you can find all of the links in my description box, as well as pinned in the comments section. You can also find the link to this recipe down there as well as pinned in the comments section. It is not my recipe. I found it on Pinterest, by the way. But yeah. I'm going to leave all of that down there for you so you can find that and try this recipe out for yourself. So we are going to go enjoy some dinner, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.